Get ready with me for a first date with a man that I thought I completely fumbled. Like, I am truly shocked that this man is going on a date with me, to be quite honest with you. I did not put my best foot forward the first time that I talked to him. For some context, I frequent a bar in Austin, and one of the bartenders there is so cute. Cute to the point that I literally would never even order drinks from him because I was too nervous to talk to him, because that's how I am. I can't talk to boys. But one day I decided that I'm gonna be brave, so I'm like, you know what? I am gonna order a drink from him. Yeah, I really thought that that was me being brave. And so I do. I go, I order a drink. I'm like, okay, that wasn't so bad. So now I have this giant sense of confidence. I'm like, you know what I need to do? I need to give this man my phone number. But obviously I can't give him my phone number myself. That's insane. So I tell my best friend, listen, you give him my number. So me feeling crazy, I write my name and number down on a napkin, give it to my friend, and she gives it to the bartender, and he's like, okay, whose number is this? She points to me. I'm like, how does one act in that situation? Do I wave? I didn't. I just pretended I didn't know what was going on. And that was that. Okay, that was the night. Okay, that was not the night. That was the night in terms of interactions with him, because I actually stayed at that bar for a few more hours, and who decided to show up to the bar but a man that I had gone on a few dates with? And sue me, okay? We were kissing. Okay, don't come at me like that. I was just having a good time. And silly me, I'm like, there's no way that my cute bartender is even gonna notice this, because he's busy, he's working. It's so crowded. I was wrong, okay? There's some foreshadowing there. Because 4 or 5 months pass. Do I ever get a text from that bartender? No. No, I don't. And in my head, I'm like, oh, he either thought I was hideous or he has a girlfriend. I don't even think that he saw me kissing another man. I think I was just lying to myself. I think that I just didn't want to think that. Ooh, future Kelsey here. I also want to note that since the last time I saw him and he hadn't texted me back, I went to that bar multiple times and did see him, and he definitely recognized me and knew who I was, and it was so uncomfortable, and I actually stopped going to the bar after a few times because I was just so embarrassed. But then a few weeks ago, I'm at this house party with some of my friends, and I meet this guy, and he tells me he's the DJ at the bar that my bartender works at. And of course, me, always yapping away, I was like, oh my gosh, let me tell you a story about one of your coworkers because he's very good looking. And of course, I tell him the story of the night, but you know what I omit? I omit the part where I was kissing another guy, because that information was not relevant. You know what I mean? It wasn't. I just tell him that I gave his coworker my phone number and I never heard from him, and I'm heartbroken. So he was like, wait, no way, let me text him for you right now. And I was like, absolutely, yeah. That sounds like a great idea. Go ahead and text him. And he does. And he sends the bartender my phone number. And then guess who texts me? So I'm like giddy at this point, right? I'm like, oh, my dreams are coming true. And I text him, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the only time I've ever given a bartender my number. And he didn't text me back. And he was like, well, you were kissing another man that night. My stomach dropped. I felt like I was gonna puke. I was like, no. Because I think honestly, I blocked that part out of my memory. I was just pretending that that didn't happen. So when he texted me that, I was like, oh, no, that did happen. And he saw it. Great. And this man is very good looking, so I'm assuming that a lot of girls leave their phone number for him. So it's the fact that he put together that it was me and that I was the one that was kissing another man that night. That's embarrassing for me. For sure. Super embarrassing that he remembered that. But then he asked me out on a date. He's like, let's see if we have anything in common. I was like, okay. I don't know, but I feel like there should be scientific studies done for that comeback, because I have no idea how I pulled that one off. We're going to this outdoor sports bar to watch the Cowboys game tonight because I'm a really big Cowboys fan and I have the perfect outfit for it. Stay tuned. Okay, here's the fit. It's actually an old Cowboys jersey that was repurposed into a dress. I got it from Frankie Collective, and then some white sneakers. I think it's cute because it's Cowboys, but also it's a first date fit. Normally I'm not nervous for first dates, but to be honest, I am a little nervous for this one because I know that some of my embarrassing actions will be brought up. So gonna have to deal with that, but wish me luck.
Okay, if I owned a news station and I was giving y'all breaking news right now, the headline would be, nigga duh, are y'all surprised that Erica Vance has soft launched her plans to be the second lady of America? Y'all didn't see that coming? Do you remember that video I made when I said that you have to be fucking weird to not only marry that man, but reproduce with that man? When y'all were talking about how odd she was acting behind the podium, you didn't know she was odd just from marrying that man? And now everybody's talking about the pleather pants and running her hair through JD's head and all of these things. You didn't see that coming? The darkest parts of Erica Vance have been elated since September 11th. The quietest parts of her existence have been witnessing peak human happiness since September 11th. You want to say everybody grieves differently? Okay, that's as performative as it fucking gets. She has been wiping her eyes for the last month with no tears, no nothing, just performative tear. It's the most performative shit. That's not grief. You might even venture to say that she might have fucking zelled Tyler herself. Like that's not grief. And to say nobody will replace my husband, but okay, all right, all right. Here's the thing, okay? I knew she was weird off rip just from marrying that man. You know what I'm saying? I just saw Katie Miller on Piers Morgan show getting torn apart, and she trying to gaslight and throw in shit that didn't nobody bring up. No way, just an awful fucking display of how strange she is. And then I'm like, oh well, she fucking married Stephen Miller, so duh, she's weird as shit, right? So like, I knew Erica was fucking weird, okay? But when the tragedy happened, I said, okay, let me leave that family side out of it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't finna come at me and make me have some inexplicable sympathy for a fucking racist that just spewed hatred and lies while he was on earth. Fuck that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna leave the family side out of it. You know what I'm saying? I think we've been known she weird. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, wife lost a husband, child lost a father. You know what I'm saying? She gonna grieve is what the expectation was. So leave that to the side. That's a loss. That's a tragedy. But then you see that initial speech and you like, what the fuck? You just lost your husband. You just lost the father of your kids in a tragic way, and that's not grief. That's almost enjoyment. The fuck are we talking about? And then from that initial speech to the memorial to this JD Vance hug running her fingers through the back of his head. Look, 18 and up, audiences only. Why is a woman? Why in what scenario is she taking the nails that you might have paid for and running it through the back of your head, trying to feel the follicles? Maybe even get a grip to keep you in a certain position if a certain task is being performed. That wasn't no fucking hug. Erica Vance was having flashbacks. It's happened to the best of us. It'll be fucking 3 p.m. broad daylight. We could be at work. We think about that one time they hit that one motherfucking spot so good and we just dazed. That was fucking flashback. It wasn't no hug. I'm a grown man. That ain't no I respect you for being there for me in my type of time of grief type of hug. That was a I respect you for being in me in my time of grief type of hug. Get the fuck out of here. And you know what drove it home? You know what drove it home? When you marry somebody of a different religion, you don't fucking hope that they have this divine epiphany and on their own will, on their own accord, they convert to your religion. If you're at the point of marriage and y'all are still of different religions, have you not accepted that this is what y'all are? This is what you believe? But the soon spouse of Erica Vance, JD Vance, got up there and fucking said, "Oh well, while she is Hindu, I hope she can be Christian one day like me." That's fucking weird. That's disrespectful. You're shitting on her religion. You're saying, "Hey, I'm this religion, and we got married with different religions, but I hope that she gives up on her religion and chooses mine instead." I give it until fucking February until it's official. You heard it here first.
I'm an alcoholic. I'm in recovery. I'm also an addict. I'm in recovery. I've been sober for a little over 4 years. Let's have a little bit of breakfast in the airport lounge while I talk to you guys about my relapse and kind of how that whole thing happened. So I know that I told the story previously about how I got sober the first time when I was 21, but some people were asking about what it was like getting sober the second time. I will give you a little bit of background. The first time I got sober, I was 21. I stayed sober for a little over 3 years. So I was sober from 21 to like 24. Then in the middle of COVID, like September 2020, I relapsed for like almost 2 months, like September, October, and then I got sober November 4th again, and that's my current sobriety date. November 4th, 2020 is my current sobriety date. I want to talk a little bit about how I got to the point of wanting to get sober the second time. First of all, I want to say that I feel very lucky that I got sober the second time because I have seen many people who get sober one time, relapse, and then aren't able to get sober again. Very naive of me, I think, because my thought process when I like relapsed was like, I'm super young, I just want to have fun, I know that I have a problem, but I can probably control it for like a couple more years. Like I can probably squeeze a couple more years and like I might have a few like consequences. It's okay. Like when it gets really bad, I'll just get sober again. So naive of me to think that just because I got sober once, I would be able to get sober again. When I relapsed, thought that I could just handle it. I thought I could control it. I thought I could enjoy it. I picked up right where I left off. You might think that like, oh, like if you've been sober for 3 years, like you probably would have like a slow roll like back into things. Dude, no. Like right off the bat, I was like the same night, like I blacked out. I was smoking again. I lost absolute control. Like this is kind of like what led up to my relapse was I went out to dinner with friends. I saw a friend order a drink like I had a million times. For whatever reason in that moment, I had like no mental defense. It was baffling. I saw her take the drink and then I thought about it. Like, oh, maybe I could do that. And then the next night I drank like 10 White Claws. I pretty much from that night forward blacked out every single night of my relapse. There was not a night that wasn't like bad. Like remember, this is during COVID, so I'm home with my parents, I'm with my family, they all know I'm sober, I'm drinking again, they're super confused, they're all concerned, like they're all like, what are we supposed to do? And I'm doing like crazy things, like I'm drinking alone, acting out, like I'm calling friends and like on FaceTime and I'm like drunk and I like think we're having so much fun. I was like, yeah, like look, like we're like drunk together. And I remember like laying on my kitchen floor, not being able to stand up, and I went for a walk at like 1 a.m. Really weird, obscene things. There are some Snapchat videos of me during my relapse where I'm drinking and singing songs and oh my god, probably find them if you guys really wanted to see them, but I don't know, they're embarrassing and like they're strange. But I drank like that every night for about 2 months. I remember like I just started this new job, I was like remote, but I was like so scared every time I woke up in the morning, like did I call somebody from work, did I say something to somebody from work? Like, I was a keyboard warrior when I would get drunk. I would go on my phone, I would call, I would text, I would Facebook message, I would post, like I would do like the craziest stuff. Like I can find some of these posts like from this time and they were all just so attention seeking, wanting guys to respond, thirst traps, like whatever, just like embarrassing. Like anyway, I drank like this for about 2 months, fell immediately back into old behaviors. I ended up getting really drunk on November 3rd. It was a horrible drunk, blacked out, I don't even remember. Just woke up the next morning, was just beside myself. First of all, I had the worst hangover potentially I've ever had in my life. I just remember waking up and being like, oh my god, I cannot do this anymore. Even though the relapse was only 2 months, it was just this moment of complete defeat that I was like, oh my god, okay. Clearly, my notion of, well, I can control it for just a little bit, I can enjoy it, was wrong. Because from the night that I started drinking again, I could not control it and I could not enjoy it. I would do like crazy things. I would go to the fridge and just like chug handles and like chase and like film it. Why was I filming it? I'm pretty sure I like sent it to people. Like, just strange. When I drink, I'm telling you, I think it's given me a lot of compassion for other people who like suffer from this disease. When I see somebody who potentially has a problem, I see them acting in a way, I try to separate that person from the illness because I know that like I did so many things when I was drinking that I would never do, that I woke up and people told me I did and I was like, what? I don't blame somebody with diabetes for having diabetes. That is not their fault. It is a condition they suffer from. That is kind of how I approach alcoholism and addiction. Like, I can't blame somebody for having that disease. It's obviously incredibly hard because the symptoms of that disease look so different and they affect everybody. I became a tornado in my life. I was lucky enough to have people in my life who were able to do that for me. They let me hit my bottom. I woke up on November 4th, 2020 and was like, dude, I'm done. I fully admit that I can't control it the way I thought I could. Can't squeeze a couple more years and I can't have fun. Like, I went out and I tried. If you're like thinking about going out and trying to see if you can have more fun, just know that I went out and did the market research and it's not looking good, okay? At least for me, it was not looking good. Did the market research, I went out and tested the waters. You guys, Still as bad out there as it was. Yeah, I got sober again, called somebody I really trusted in my sobriety and let her know what happened, and she was just so loving and kind. I thought everybody was going to judge me for having drank again. People just were glad that I was back. They were so happy that I was able to, one, get sober again, and two, show up in my 12-step meetings. It wasn't easy. Like, I had a lot of guilt and shame, and I never thought that this was something that I would ever want to admit, let alone on the internet or talk about in any capacity. If my story of my relapse can help somebody else, the entire experience was worth it. I love you guys. Bye.
Am I in the wrong for going out with my friend's ex, even though she's literally the one who told me that I should go out with them? Let's talk about it. So I'm on the swim team with this girl, and we became like really good friends. I really like her a lot. I am kind of the type of person who like doesn't really make friends that easily with people. I'm a little bit of like a homebody and a hermit, and she's like always the one who like wants to bring me out and like lets me get to know people. And I've made friends with like a lot of her friends. We've gotten pretty close. And her boyfriend had been together for quite some time, known as like the couple that everybody knew, and they were like one of those like really good looking couples together, you know, like the ones you see on Instagram where you're like, oh my god, I'm jealous of them. And I was actually one of the first people that she confided in when her and him broke up. Here's where it gets a little awkward. One night we get to talking about stuff, and I let her and her friends know after I've had a couple drinks, so my lips are a little loose. I let it slip that I'm into a little bit of different things in the bedroom. I like it a little bit more on the kinkier side, and that is when she lets me know that so is her ex-boyfriend. You know that they are really good friends, and she thinks that we actually would make a really good match in the bedroom, and looking for a friends with benefits situation, she would let him know. I'm a little uncomfortable with this because number one, she's become my friend, and that's her ex, and he's intimidating. Like, he's really well known, and he's popular, and like I said, he's very good looking. She goes and tells him that I'm interested in these things in the bedroom, right? So then he messages me and asks if I'm interested in having this type of friends with benefits situation. Really embarrassed at first because I feel like she like shouldn't have even said anything to him, and I know she was drunk when she did it, and like she was just trying to set us up, but it just feels very awkward. The thing is, I've never really been with anybody who's interested in the things that I'm interested in, so I'm kind of intrigued by the idea of having a hookup with somebody who is into the same things as I am and is maybe more of a match for me in bed than I've had before in the past. Even though she said she's okay with this, that she's not actually okay with it. The question is, should I just go with it, see if this guy and me are like a match, or should I just stay away from him because they dated? The one who completely pushed me towards him and kind of told him some personal stuff about me. If you like that and you want to find out what happens next in the name of the book, check the caption. Bye.
Well, let's address the elephant in the room. I see the comments and I see the DMs asking me to talk about Nikki and her recent tweets, okay? Supposedly supporting Trump. And let's have a talk, yeah? Am I disappointed by her recent tweets? Absolutely. I honestly, genuinely just really do not like people who are MAGA. Nicki Minaj is not a US citizen. She is a black immigrant who is also a woman. Everything that Trump is going against at the moment. So it's just like really disappointing to see her thank him. She's always made fun of Donald Trump. And it's just like anytime anybody would bring him up around her, she always seemed disgusted. So it's like really surprising, you know, to see her online thanking him. I think she's going through shit in the industry. I think she is currently trying to take down Jay-Z and Beyonce and stuff like that. And I think that she tried, you know, using the Democrats, and I think she clearly saw that that's not going anywhere. So I think she's trying to use the Republicans as a pawn, and I think it's backfiring her, and I think it's a really stupid fucking decision of hers, because regardless of if she really is a Trump supporter or not, which again, I really don't think she is. I just think this is such a dumb way to go about it, and if anything, it's just tarnishing her like reputation even more, especially with all the shit that she's been doing lately. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm not irritated, because I am, especially because like, you know, half of my fucking platform is me, you know, being a Nicki Minaj fan. That's what a lot of people know me for, so it's just really fucking annoying seeing somebody that I've looked up to since I was 8 years old get on here and thank the person that is running America, who is completely against everything that she is, you know? Am I gonna take the flag down? Probably not. Am I gonna stop streaming her music? Probably not. I can separate the music from the artist. I like the music. I don't care. Y'all can get mad at me all you want for that. I don't care. Am I gonna go out of my way to listen to the new album and stream and buy the new album? Probably not. probably not. Am I gonna go out of my way to keep buying new merch and stuff like that? Probably not. I'm probably gonna take a pause on, you know, all the Nicki Minaj content because I'm really irritated with her. I don't know, until she openly says like, yes, I support Donald Trump and blah 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 and like these things that he does. I'm not gonna 100% like hate her. Does that make sense? But one thing that's also irritating me about y'all is like, where was this outrage for Lil Wayne becoming a Trumpy? Where was this outrage for Beyonce and Jay-Z having dinner with the Trumps? Where is this outrage for Taylor Swift, who just like got engaged to a Trumpy and hangs out with a bunch of Trumpies? Where was this outrage for Snoop Dogg, for Ice Cube? I just found out NBA YoungBoy is MAGA. Where's your outrage for him? And y'all love him so much, which I wish I never got those concert tickets from my brother at this point, but I already got them, so I'm gonna go. Anyways, but yeah, that's how I feel about that. Very disappointed, very irritated, and, you know, I'm hoping that this is just her really weird way of, you know, trying to do whatever she gotta do to, you know, get her justice from Jay-Z or whatever.
Parents in general, but men specifically, like to use the term protection as a way to enforce violence and danger on people that they claim that they love. We're going to watch a video of a father talking about how he was convicted after an incident that happened. I'm going to play the last thing that he said in the video first, then we're going to play the entire video because it's pivotal that we start the video off this way.
I should have the right to do anything necessary if I think someone is in my house that should not be there. And if you think any different, then you're a pussy.
He said himself, I feel as though I should do anything necessary if I feel like somebody is in my house that shouldn't have to be there.
All right, so bear with me because I've been holding this in for a while. Basically, the last 5 years, I've been working Uber as a single dad. And on Friday, June 13th, 2025, I was out working, and I get a request from a person named Braden from my address. Now, about a couple weeks prior to this, I found out that my daughter has a boyfriend named Braden. So, naturally, I think this boy is at my house, and I rush home, get home, go into my daughter's room. She's holding the lock on the door, and I start pounding on the door, calling for the boy to come out. Mind you, at this point, I'm ready to kick in the fucking door. She finally decides to come out. I'm looking through the room, through the closet, and everywhere else. He's not there, thankfully, right? So I have her call the boy, get him on the phone, and then I tell him to put his parents on the phone. Talk to his dad, asked him had he been there the whole time. He said, yeah. I let him know that he is not allowed at my house. So after that, I go into the garage, I call my ex-wife, and let her know that our daughter was planning on getting in an Uber without permission to go to this boy's house. And mind you, my ex-wife, that's just a different story I'm not going to get into right now. I hung up with her, and I find out my daughter's on the phone with 911. Now, mind you, I love my daughter very much. I'm not talking about the shallow love that most people think of as like a feeling. I love my daughter. Love is a verb. It is an action. If my daughter's safety is in jeopardy, I'm going to take any action necessary to protect her. So I go in the room. She's on the phone with 911. Then her mama calls me. I sitting there asking her, like, you know, because her mom's saying, like, she's on the way and shit. So I'm like, cool, whatever. She can go stay with her mom, right? Because I'm fucking heated at this point. Then police show up. I'm at the door explaining to the police what happened, right? So this punk-ass fucking cop, which, mind you, I don't want no fucking help from the police. I don't need no fucking help from the police. I've been assaulted. I've been robbed. And I've never fucking received any help from any fucking police ever. So I don't want your fucking help. I don't need your help. So we go on with the story. He's a little bit tense because he's a pussy. And, yeah, just because, you know, I'm showing him up and he's scared, they reach into my house. Mind you, I'm still in the doorway. I didn't come outside or anything because I already know where the shit is going. And they reach into my house, place me under arrest, and it goes on. You know, they took me in and shit. Had me in the back of the police car, fucking with no air conditioner, sweating my ass off back there. We're in Arizona, mind you. And these fucking punk ass motherfuckers just got me back there, sweating my ass off. Get to the fucking police station. They got me on the bench, booking me in, taking hella long, don't offer me no water, check on me, no type of shit. So then I go to court at the bench trial. They played the 911 recording for my daughter, which in the beginning of the call, she says, I know I'm not supposed to be calling the emergency number if it's not an emergency. And the judge is asking her questions like, did your dad harm you? She said no. Did your dad threaten to harm you? No. And they played the body cam footage from the officer, which they only play a 30-second clip towards the end, after I had already explained the situation, was, as cordial as I could be with him at first. And yeah, the judge, I thought, was going to dismiss it, but they convicted me of disorderly conduct, domestic violence, and failure to identify. I'm appealing it right now because at the end of the day, I should have the right to do anything necessary if I think someone is in my house that should not be there. And if you think any different, then you're a pussy.
Obviously, there is a large gap in this man's story. I highly doubt that his daughter called 911 for no fucking reason. I highly doubt that there was not some type of act of violence enforced upon her in order for her to be calling 911. And when you listen to how he frames the story, a lot of the time men will do this type of articulation of their intention behind why they act the way that they act. So when he was talking about love is a verb and love is an action, and I love my daughter and I'm going to do anything possible to show that I love my daughter, and the fact that he will do anything necessary in order to protect his daughter. If your daughter had to hold the lock to prevent you from coming into her room, that tells me everything that I need to know on how conflict is resolved in this household. The fact that your daughter couldn't even ask your permission to go over to her boyfriend's house says a lot about the dynamic between you and your daughter. And then to make matters worse, he even justified the fact that he should be able to treat the police any old type of way because he felt like the police was meddling in his affairs, when in reality, the police are responding to the call that his daughter made. If a man felt so comfortable, if you felt so comfortable to come crazy at the police, I could only imagine how comfortable you would feel coming crazy at your own daughter when she has defied you in some way due to your lack of ability to create a comfortable space for her to simply ask you, hey, I want to go over to my boyfriend's house. Can I go over there? Especially because she's 15. At 15, she's in high school. So she's either a freshman in high school or a sophomore. Normally, you have boyfriends around this time in your life as a young woman. This is normally peak time for you to be exploring dating in the opposite sex. Because you don't like these things as a father, it does not give you the agency to do whatever the fuck you want to do when it's harmful to other people, because you see it as a form of protection. And mind you, they charge this man with domestic violence. They charge this man with DV. Do you know how hard it is to get a DV charge? Do you know how hard it is to get a freaking DV charge? It is not easy for you to get a DV charge. So the fact that they charged him with that, you must have done something ridiculous for them to deem that as something to charge you with. And they charged him with intimidating a police officer. Once again, him feeling comfortable intimidating a police officer tells me everything that I need to know on him handling his own daughter. Because if he felt comfortable enough to intimidate someone that has a firearm, that has a taser, that has a baton, that can call other people up to restrain you, to impact force on you, and you intimidated them, I already know what you're doing with your daughter. Protection is not a means for you to harm another person, and you disguise it under love. You disguise it under protection. Men that have to constantly explain the intention behind why they harmed someone is essentially them not taking accountability for the fact of the matter that your ways to deal with conflict is not helpful. Your ways to deal with conflict are dangerous. Hence, why the police charged him with these charges. I really hope that this daughter can go back living with her mother, or at least with a guardian who knows how to handle conflict resolution and understands how to parent children appropriately.
We need to talk about these mother-daughter poses that I'm seeing on these red carpets. As close as my mother and I are, I don't think we would be pelvis to pelvis. That is inappropriate. Do you want to see what I'm talking about? We have Lisa Rinna and her daughter, Amelia, maybe? Why are they, y'all need to go, I'm not gonna baby food feed you from my bird mouth to yours. So you're gonna need to go find this for yourself and watch how they're posing, and they're so inappropriately close. Pelvis to pelvis. This is so strange. I keep thinking, would my mom and I do that in pictures? No, my mom was always trying to get behind me so that she looks smaller. So there's none of this, like together, breast to breast, pelvis to pelvis. Then we have these two. Look at that. I don't want to be sexy with my mom. If you're a supermodel, can you get back with me? Because how are we doing these poses? I have my big sweater on, but this hurts. I'm trying to pose with my butt out and my chest out. That's a weird gyration pose. I don't know how they're doing that. I need tips. And Cindy Crawford, do we think that is just a clone of her? Like, we're going to take her Cindy Crawford DNA and we're just going to make a new one, a 2.0. And then that's Kaya. I don't see the dad at all. Maybe she has more, maybe her features are softer. Okay, I'll give her that. But that was a lot of mom's DNA. Anyway, get back to me. Do y'all think these poses are weird or is it just me? Okay, bye.
A lady asked why I'm letting myself go. This happened like 2 hours ago and I'm still kind of shaky, but also weirdly satisfied. I, 34 female, was at a Target in Minneapolis getting groceries. I've lost a bunch of weight recently, like 40 pounds in 3 months, and not in a good way. I have stage 3 colon cancer and the chemo makes me look like absolute hell. No hair, eyebrows gone, I'm wearing a beanie, and I look sick because I am sick. So I'm in the produce section trying to figure out what I can eat that won't make me immediately nauseous when this woman, probably in her 50s, rolls up with her cart. She looks me up and down and goes, "Honey, are you okay? You look exhausted." I'm used to this, so I just smile and say that I'm fine, but she doesn't leave. She then goes on to say, "I don't mean to pry, but have you thought about maybe putting more effort into your appearance? I know us ladies can get comfortable, but men really do notice these things. My daughter let herself go after her second baby and her husband almost left her. Are you fucking serious?" I would have cussed this bitch up and down the fruit aisle because you don't fucking know me. You don't fucking know me. And her poor daughter probably had postpartum depression and this bitch is over here talking about she let herself go. Oh my gosh. I'm just standing there holding a cantaloupe completely frozen, but she keeps going. A little makeup goes a long way, and there's some really nice wigs out there now. If you're having hair troubles, you're still young enough to turn things around. Something in me just snapped. I turned to her and said very flatly, "I have cancer, stage 3. The chemo makes me look like this. I'm trying to figure out if I can eat this melon without vomiting. My husband thinks I'm beautiful. Anything else?" Her face went white, like it actually lost all color. She started stammering, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I just thought..." I cut her off. "You thought what? That I needed your advice? I'm just trying to buy groceries." She basically ran away, left her cart and everything. Now I'm home and a part of me feels bad because she looked genuinely horrified. Good for her. As she fucking should be. She doesn't know you from a can of fucking paint, but she chose to walk up to you without knowing you or your situation to give you beauty tips and tell you to not let yourself go. She 100% deserved to be fucking terrified. Fuck her. Maybe she'll learn to mind her goddamn business. But at the same time, fuck that noise. Don't comment on people's appearances. My husband says that she deserved it. My mom says that I was too harsh. I don't know. Your mom is wrong. Your mom is so fucking wrong. You were not harsh at all. This bitch deserved all and then some of the sass and attitude that you gave her, because minding your fucking business is free. You don't walk up to a complete fucking stranger and start talking about their appearance. You don't know what the fuck is going on in that person's life. Why? Because that is a complete fucking stranger. I don't know when the fuck people became so goddamn comfortable to just randomly, unprompted, unasked for talk about someone's fucking body, but that shit needs to stop. It needs to stop. That shit is disrespectful as fuck and it's rude as hell. I gotta be honest, y'all. This story triggered the absolute hell out of me. It did, because stuff like this happens to me on a weekly basis right here. People DM me all the time making comments about my body. And then when I DM them back and I ask them, well, are you a medical professional? The answer is always no. My sister's husband's dog's cousin's godmom's aunt had something like that and you should get it checked out. Never once do people give a fuck about what if you're pointing out fucking insecurities. You don't know what the situation is. Why? Because we're fucking strangers. This shit is absolutely not okay. You guys need to be more mindful of the things that you say, even if you're doing it out of concern. If nobody asked you, do not say anything.
This just came to me. It just came to me. The super duper uber rich, they benefit from you being either super religious or not believe in anything at all. And what they've done is they have sort of, not villainized, but caricaturized the people that are in the middle. And those are the people that matter. They want you to laugh at these people. They want you to see these people and go, oh, here we go, that astrology shit. Meanwhile, they're practicing astrology. They're practicing astrology. They have witches on hand who they can call. They need you to believe in either a deity or nothing at all. Because when you start getting here in the middle, you start playing their game. They don't want you playing their game. They want you to laugh at the woo-woo shit. They do. They want you to roll your eyes and suck your teeth. They do not want you to start thinking that you can do shit that they're doing. It benefits the elites for you to believe in this all-knowing God. And it benefits the elites for you to believe in nothing at all. I promise you, they're up there practicing shit that you would not believe. I've always felt super duper uncomfortable around rich people, super uber rich people. I've always felt a darkness. I can't even explain it. There are things happening that you wouldn't believe. I made a video a while ago about how they handed Black people a Bible so that we would focus on that instead of our true power. They gave us a guidebook for worshiping them instead of our ancestors because they know that that is where our power was, in our ancestors. These people are a lot smarter than you think, and it's actually really scary.
Join the live and comment LeBron James.
How do so many CSA survivors remember, like, into detail their experiences of sexual abuse during their childhood? Because I don't. Where did most of my memories go? Because I only have very few, and the few that I do have are very short memories of the actual sexual abuse that I experienced by my dad. And recently I read off some of his court transcripts where I took the stand, and he went to prison for 20 years for sexually abusing 3 of his daughters. And I talked about the very first time that he actually really sexually abused me. And it was more than just like pulling my pants back to look down my pants or grabbing on my chest, because it was just a chest. I was 10, 11 years old. There was no breast there. But it talked about how we went and seen my mom for something. And I don't remember that either, because I don't remember ever seeing my mom after she dropped us off with this man and left us with him. I remember seeing her one time very shortly after we moved in with him. She came and picked us up with some man and took us to a lake, and she got belligerent drunk and said she was going to go drown herself in the lake, and like stripped butt naked and went like in the middle of the lake. And I remember her dropping us off, telling us that she loved us, and she was crying, and I don't remember ever seeing her again. But seems that we went and seen our mom for some reason or another. And I do remember some of that drive back where and I didn't remember until I read the court transcripts, but after I read that, I do remember my dad as being in the truck. It was dark, and my dad kept turning his headlights off to scare us because you couldn't see the road. And we passed a cop, and a cop turned his blue lights on, and we was very close to the house, and my dad took off real quick and drove behind the house and like turned lights off and made us turn all the lights off in the house so that the police wouldn't know that we had pulled up at that house. I remember that. But when it goes into detail about my dad making me and my siblings go down on him that night and the other things I talked about in that video of the court transcripts, I don't remember any of that. Where did those memories go? And the very, very few memories that I do have that I spoke about before I ever got these court transcripts are very short. I remember like the very beginning of my dad starting stuff, but the actual moment of the actual sexual abuse, like rape, I don't remember that. And I know I said in previous videos that I never got any kind of pleasure or felt good or orgasm from my dad at that age, but I can't say that and be 100% honest because I don't remember. I don't remember how it felt. I don't remember how I felt. I don't actually remember the actual rape. And the only reason I know a little bit of how I felt is because I do have that very short memory of when my dad made that videotape of him, me, and my sisters. I remember him making us watch that back, and I remember watching myself laying on the bed and just kind of being really giddy and goofy, but I don't remember the actual act itself. I don't remember how I felt. I don't remember watching him do it to my sister. I don't remember any of that. I genuinely want to know where do these memories go? How can something so traumatic, so bad happen to you and those memories disappear? I'm not saying that I want those memories back or I want to know how I felt. Nothing like that. But if I would have maybe gotten therapy when we went to foster care and my dad went to prison, and I talked about it over my 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old me, would I possibly still have those memories? Did those memories maybe disappear because I didn't talk about it ever again after we went to foster care? My siblings didn't like to talk about it. We, like I said, didn't get therapy. Our foster parents didn't talk to us about it. So it was something that once I went to foster care, like every bit of that disappeared. It never happened. Is that why I don't have those memories and other survivors maybe do? And it's not just even the sexual abuse that I don't remember. I don't remember most of my childhood. I have a few memories of where I lived when I lived with my mom up until I was 10 years old. And then those couple of years living with my dad. A couple memories of sexual abuse. I remember going to church. I remember the people that picked us up for church. I remember like the kids at the church. I remember their names. I remember going on little church trips with them. Very small memories that I have, but everything else is like, it's blank. There's nothing there. Where do all those memories go?
My hands are shaking as I write this because I still can't believe it is real. My husband's side chick is my younger brother. I wish this was some sick joke, but it's not. They came to me a few days ago together, asking me to keep it low because in their words, they love each other. I remember just staring at them, not even breathing for a few seconds, trying to process what I was hearing. My own husband and my own blood brother, the two people I trust the most. At first, I laughed like maybe I was dreaming or being pranked. But then I saw how serious they were. My brother couldn't even look at me in the eyes. My husband just sat there holding his hand like they were proud of what they were doing. I don't even know what's worse, the betrayal or how comfortable they were telling me about it. Maybe writing this to you will take me out of denial. I have been replaying everything in my head. All those times my husband would leave the house late and say he was going to drop my brother off. I didn't think much of it. I thought they were just close because my husband was like a big brother figure to him. Turns out they were closer than I ever imagined. The timing of it all just makes it even more painful. I buried my mother last month. I thought that was the lowest point of my life. I thought nothing could hurt me more than losing her. But this broke something inside me and I don't even know how to fix. I can't even cry properly anymore. I just sit and stare at the wall, wondering what I did to deserve this kind of humiliation. Who Who do I even talk to about this? Who would even believe me without laughing or judging me? I can't tell my family because they are still mourning. And I don't want to add more pain. I can't talk to my friends because this kind of thing sounds like a movie, not real life. But it's happening to me. I feel so trapped, so empty, and honestly, I don't know what to do. Sometimes I wish I didn't find out because now I'll never see my brother the same way again. And as for my husband, I can't even share a bed with him without feeling sick. Maybe one day I will heal, but right now I am just broken completely. What do you all think about this story? Kindly leave your thoughts in the comments and I will see you in my next video. I got the story from Abu Tisak. Bye.